She was perfectly in her rights to abuse the citizens of Michigan the way she did. And it's still kind of interesting that she has the entirety of Michigan on lockdown except for the area around her holiday cottage. Sort of, yeah, would that be kind of like, I don't know, locking down all of the hair salons and then you're allowed to go and get your hair done? Because people are getting a bit fed up with that. Is that working? That is working. Hi, I am going to miss a bit here. I think we're okay there. So we will be coming back this way. For people who watch The Expanse, there is it the 5th season is coming out on the 30th of October. So yay. Finding that to be a very interesting sci-fi series. Thank you. And I'm going to take that row, because I can already see a bed sticking out just there. How close? I can't see how close we are to filling the truck up. I got into The Expanse when it appeared on Amazon Prime. Hadn't heard of it up until then. It apparently was a sci-fi show that Sci-Fi got a couple of seasons into and then said, yeah, okay, we're not doing that anymore. It's one of the reasons I don't like Netflix. Is they bring out really good series and they run it for 2 seasons and then say, yeah, we're bored with that now. And sort of, seriously, the story just got started, go away. I don't have Netflix anymore. I am totally disillusioned with them. I mean, I was a member for a long time. I spent 6 months living in a hotel, sort of long stay hotel, and consequently, one of the few forms of entertainment I had available was DVDs, because there was actually a DVD player in the hotel, in the rooms. So it was kind of useful to be able to have sort of 3 or 4 discs on cycle, and you could send one back a couple of days later, the next one in the series would arrive. Made my way through a lot of old TV series where I'd caught an episode or 2 but hadn't seen the full thing. And then when it became clear that my job transfer was permanent and not just a temporary thing, we sold our home in Texas, my wife moved up with me, and at that point we typically were using Netflix for the streaming service. However, there wasn't as much streamed then as there is now, or that there was during the heyday of Netflix. And within 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden Netflix streaming seriously became a thing. And that's why we kept it. And that was fine and wonderful, but then you started getting challenges from Hulu, from of the other ones. And it was sort of, well, you're charging me more for the subscription, but you've got less content on your streaming service because the owners of the production, want it back for their own streaming services. So like Disney, like CBS. Once upon a time you could watch all of Star Trek on Netflix, and then CBS said, "Oh, we're doing CBS streaming service, and we kind of want Star Trek on our own service." So you got 6 more months, and then we want it back. So now that does not surprise me in the least. And Blockbuster should have taken them up on the deal. That was the thing. Who was it? Microsoft wanted to do Encyclopedia Britannica. And the Encyclopedia people basically said, "Nah, we don't want you." And so Microsoft said, "Fine, okay, we'll do Encarta." And where's Encyclopedia Britannica these days? They didn't go electronic, and now they don't exist. Conversely, Borders Books decided, we should be selling stuff online. Let's sell it through Amazon. Well, Amazon's a direct competitor of Borders, so Borders doesn't exist anymore. And it was way too late when Borders decided, well, maybe we should create our own bookstore online. You don't have the expertise, you don't have the infrastructure. They ended up, there was at least one situation where they had, get 50% off a book with this code, and I think you could apply the code multiple times to an order and to more than one book. And so they ended up giving away books for free. That was a costly mistake, and took them a couple of days to figure it all out, that they were giving away books for free. But today Netflix's own shows are good, but are too short-lived. They're cancelled before they really get going. And I like to watch shows and watch the story, and if they're just going to cancel it after 2 seasons, I feel that I've invested all the time learning about who the characters are, and it's all done without anything anything serious happening. And I think that was kind of the issue with The Expanse. Although I don't have Sci-Fi, so I didn't watch it on Sci-Fi. I didn't know anything about it. But I understand there were a lot of viewers or fans who were very annoyed that Sci-Fi said, we're going to cancel it after 2 seasons. And upset fans, but then Amazon Prime said, actually, this is a good series. We want to continue it. And so that's the point I stepped in. And, I binged the first 2 seasons before the 3rd one came out, and carried on watching it from there. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that Amazon did that. But you're right, there's a lot of downtime between successive seasons on so many shows. There's another one I'm aware of on Amazon, The Boys, which is what happens when superheroes are controlled by corporations and right wrongs, but they're not particularly nice guys. And that one, they actually released the latest season weekly, so it wasn't here's 15 episodes, enjoy. It was here's episode, season 2 1, season 2 the next week. I don't know if that, if the fans like that, or how many people said, you know what, we're just gonna wait until the last one comes out and then binge watch it all in one shot. One other good thing, now we have permanent kids in the house, we have got Disney Plus. So a couple of weeks ago I binge watched the entirety of The Mandalorian, which was kind of a case of I'd kind of like to watch it because I'm hearing good things about it, but I'm not going to buy big Disney just for that. But kids and Disney, yeah, okay, that's a thing. So we figured we'd subscribe, finally. I mean, the other... I am a Star Trek fan. Unfortunately, I've not heard any good things about any of the more recent Star Trek shows. But they're all on CBS streaming service. And I'm not paying for that. Just because. There's nothing but CBS shows on CBS streaming service. And they're charging me an arm and a leg to subscribe to their service, whereas with Disney have been seriously expanding their catalogue. So you get Disney Plus, you can watch Marvel, you can watch Star Wars, you can watch Pixar, you can watch tons of stuff. So, and all the old Disney cartoons and movies. So that, to me, that's actually a good deal because of the amount of stuff Disney produce. I don't think CBS is value for money, and I don't think Netflix is anymore, because they lost too much of their catalogue to production companies that wanted to do their own streaming services. And Netflix kind of got greedy with the whole, okay, we're going to split up the DVD service and the streaming service so you can have either one or the other or pay double. No. Now, we did take advantage of the fact that for some of their price increases we were grandfathered into the combo service or whatever, but eventually it got to the point where frankly, no, not anymore. Yes, that's a thing. I mean, years ago we dropped cable back in 2013, and I did internet by DSL. Because you can stream videos on DSL without too much of a problem. I didn't play any seriously heavy online games, so we just gave up. Cable a long time ago, and it's only more recently we have cable in the house. But only because high-speed internet, and it's cheaper to have the TV, the internet, and the telephone landline than it is to just have the internet, which frankly it's quite crazy. But, you know, it's a thing, so we have cable back in the house again. I have a DVD player. I actually connected it to the TV about 4 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I don't know where all the DVDs are. And I would use it because I have some DVDs that are not available on any streaming service. And every 10 years or so, it's sort of, oh, I haven't watched that in a while. I think get the DVDs out and watch it all. Binge watch Babylon 5. Ooh, what was it? Probably be about 4 or 5 years ago now. But it's not, as far as I'm aware, it's not a show that is on any streaming service. It used to be on Netflix. But Netflix let that go. Yeah, I haven't had the DVD player on. I mean, initially we used to use the DVD player as an auxiliary streaming service, because if you connected it to your internet, and our DVD player is Wi-Fi enabled, so we could connect it to our internet service and then stream YouTube and Netflix and everything else on it. Which our cable box at the time didn't support. So actually I think we had DirecTV at that point, and that didn't stream much of anything, so having the DVD player that acted as a streaming box was kind of handy. But then later on, when we got a second TV, we bought a tiny little laptop, one of sort of pocketbook laptops type of thing. Cost probably about $150, and the reason we got it was because it had an HDMI circuit and Wi-Fi, and that's all we ever used that laptop for, and we would stream stuff on the TV. I haven't opted for YouTube Premium at all. I mean, I watch a fair amount of YouTube while I'm working during the day, but I don't watch TV shows. I watch Arthur YouTube videos, or Virtual Farmer, or Millennial Farmer, or the Mighty Jingles, or some other YouTube creators. I've really gotten out of watching sort of TV format shows for the most part. Where do I want to go backwards? There we are. I mean, frankly, I don't watch any TV at all. The sort of the reality TV shoot, I feel is pointless, and I think since watching probably half of the very first season of Survivor, I haven't bothered with any reality, in quotes, TV shows. And scripted shows, they get cancelled too fast, or I get bored with them. Well, there is that, I guess. I kind of don't mind the ads for the most part. I get annoyed with the 45-minute ad in a 15-minute video that sometimes comes out. I'm not sure what the execs at YouTube are smoking to figure that's a good idea. So, excuse me, a 45-minute ad is a show. And I want to watch the Mighty Jingles 15 minutes of World of Warships. with him misidentifying ships and not figuring out what's going on in the action. I really don't want to watch a 45-minute video on, I don't know, the life of a rhino in Africa. But outside of the ludicrousness, 15-second ad, I'll watch that because, well, it pays for the people, people who are earning money on from ad revenue on YouTube. It's fair enough that they get some compensation for doing what they're doing. I think I missed some of those. We may go back for those later, or we may not. It's getting dark at this time of year. How are we doing? 6:30, so people should be home in about half an hour. I think I will probably end the video when we see people arriving on the front yard path, and we'll pick this up when I come back next week. Because I kind of figure that streaming on a Thursday evening is going to work for the most part, and I might try and get permission from Mrs. Osa to stream on a third night or a third session a week. At the moment, Teenager is playing grounding mode. Because she wasn't doing her schoolwork during school time and hadn't handed anything in, so I try to be a little bit conscious of that and not rub it in her face that, hey, look, I'm playing computer games and you're not. But, oops. She's not here, so that's not an issue. And she has, I think the grounding punishment has worked because she is playing catch up very, very quickly. Which is kind of why we said it. I think she only has about a week and a half to catch up anyway, so that's all happening. Okay, how's that? It's 28. So 2 more unloads into the truck and we'll be at 33%. Ooh. On and if we roll again, change the camera angle so we can see the markers. Yeah, this is definitely going to take a while. But with this playthrough, I'm not going to be doing any. Well, I do occasionally do a finish off at the end of an episode if I'm almost done. Or I'll put stuff away, but in this case we have a lot of potatoes to work with here, so this is not something we'll be back in the same position next week, digging up potatoes. I don't know if it goes faster. as Virtual Farmer was saying in one of his videos, you can, if you borrow equipment, you can use the equipment for, you can use the tractor or the harvester on your own fields, but you can't use the header or you know, a seeder or whatever that you borrowed. So the potato harvester you're stuck with because it's an all-in-one piece of equipment. But I could use the tractor and trailer or the truck and trailer to haul grains to the market that I own from my own stuff, because there's no lock-in. And if I had a tractor on loan on a contract with a grain cart to haul grain to the market, I could then take that tractor and plough my own field with it, which is a bit naughty. I mean, in real world terms, you know. Oh, you've lent me a tractor to haul your grains to market. Do you mind if I just take that back to my field and plough it? So we nearly, were we 1 or 2 loads away? I can't remember. I think 2. So that's the first one. There's the... Oh, that was wrong. There we go. Is that load? There's a problem. There's no graphic on the little tractor icon on the top left of the screen that shows you when it's on gold colour or off white, and the equipment's lowered or raised. There's no lowered or raised icon for the harvesting head on this. Might just turn that off. Okay. So, yeah, we can probably, I may be able to get another load out of this, or another run up to the sell point after this one, and I blew it again. Looking good. It looks like I missed the conveyor. Nice.